to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
But we're on time.
Yes, we are, we're on time.
We're waiting for Councilman McKinney to get here. I think you all seen State Representative Bill Romers here tonight. Came to visit, and his fiancee, Josie. Have you guys set a date yet?
We're working on that today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we haven't finalized the date, but in the late summer.
Late summer?
Is that a good way to put it?
How about if you get married down in the State House?
Actually, Representative Hagan did that. That's where Christina Hagan was married.
Yeah.
But we're thinking of doing it someplace else. Like long way away.
Jack can marry you.
We can do it tonight, just get it over with.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a license. No, I don't think you have to do blood tests anymore.
What, the license?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some.
Go to probate. Maybe we could declare this some kind of emergency?
No, it's not an
Sure, that'll
emergency.
sit
Evening, Rod. Everything okay?
No. You need a place to stay tonight?
You all right?
Yeah.
Just running late?
Just reclined in my recliner and fell asleep.
Oh, okay. That happens. When he's ready to start. Okay, we already had the Pledge of Allegiance. We will go ahead with the prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for entrusting us to be stewards of our community. We ask that you guide our hearts and minds as we make decisions. We ask that you bless our community with peace and prosperity, and we pray that we will always be mindful of the needs of each and every resident of our community. We ask you to protect our police department, fire department, and our other employees as they perform their duties. And we ask that you bless all members of our military, past and present. We thank you for giving them the courage to serve, and we pray that you will protect them and return them safely home. Thank you for the many blessings you've given us, and keep us ever mindful of them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Councilman Hartman is not here tonight. He's still recovering. And Councilman Fair had some appointments this
Motion to
evening.
excuse?
Second.
Bennett? Yes. McKinney? Bailey?
Yeah.
Shot?
Yes.
Motion for the minutes.
So move.
Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Shot?
Yes.
Bills.
Motion for the bills?
Second.
Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Shot?
Yes.
Hourly workers time report. I think I've seen one in there. Fireman's time.
Motion. Second?
Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Shot?
Yes.
Okay, Deb, when you're ready, you can do your report.
I want to thank Mayor Thomas for reporting and taking my vote tallies for me last meeting. I was out sick.
You're very welcome. Hopefully you could read my writing.
Very well done. Yes, it did. Yes, everything was fine. I mentioned at one of the other meetings that we have a problem with the Minolta and replacement of the drum. They called me from where we bought it and said they couldn't get a drum for it. And our new replacement model, that same style, is at $1,892, which surprised me because now they're carrying the contract for government. It's still working, and I'm considering of spending money and finding a drum myself and trying to put it in. The ones I found online is about $40. Do you have a problem with us trying that here?
Shoot, I don't think so. We can save $1,892.
I wanna try, I would like to try it. I'm thinking I did it once before, but I'm just not sure. I'm thinking I did replace a drum on it once.
They're not there.
But I didn't think so. I'm thinking that somehow I had it apart and,
I think it's well worth it.
yeah, if you would,
I'll make a motion to pursue.
drum replacement.
Second.
Bennett?
I gotta ask what it is. I hear you
A
talking.
drum,
Part of the copier.
Manola copier.
Okay.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott?
Yes.
They're supposed to be in this week to hook up the new phones for us. And then we'll be online with the Verizon One
Good.
on the internet. We had to do the verbiage, and Cindy and I worked on it today. This is what we've come up with at this point in time, unless they have to make changes. We're not sure how it all fits with them. But I did thank you for calling the Village of Beach City. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 p.m. If you call us after normal business hours and you are calling to report an emergency for electric, water, or sewer, press 0 to speak to our answering service. During regular business hours, to speak to utilities, press 1, clerk treasurer, press 2, or income tax, press 3. We get all the costs, and then we always filter them to Donnie or you or wherever. I don't know if they're set up, press 1, 2, or 3. I just went by what we have now, but we have to have the verbiage done this week also. I need to encumber $313. Government accounting solution for $196 to finish out the year end and the W-2s. Police chief has $65 for the Police Chiefs Association, and Stark County firefighters $52.
And the total is,
$313.
and you need to encumber how much?
$313.
$313.
Second.
Bennett?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Since we switched to our health insurance company, we went to the MIWA All Care. They've changed. They warned people on the television and commercials that the cost of prescription drugs are going to go up. Well, they did January 1st. In stating that, so did the cost of the employees purchasing their prescription drugs. So I've been working with Cesar. We can't change anything, but in case someone comes to you, one of the employees to talk to you about it, all insurance companies have the opportunity to raise their rates when it comes to prescriptions beginning in January, and they did. Purposely, we switched to All Care. One of the reasons was because of prescription savings.
Yes.
It's not there anymore, and it's a lot worse. Mine personally are great, but if you're on a high-end prescription drug for maintenance, they're very, very expensive.
Next year, we gotta get started earlier on that
I
contract.
can't start you any earlier. I mean, if you think as a committee you can come in and work with someone, you need to do that. But I can only do what they tell me when, and I try to push it through.
So if everybody went up on the drugs, it's almost impossible to get anything any better.
I don't,
That's why I wanted committees, was so there would be a committee to work on this.
And the committee will work on it
Yeah.
next year
Yeah.
ahead of time, or this year, whenever Deb tells us, hey, it's time for you guys to start.
now, because we switched to All Care, we're no longer ending in October. This year, we go January to December. So we'll have till December, until we either have to have something in place or stay with All Care.
So so we need to start end of summer.
If you could get the information and just, I don't know.
And did you let Mr. Susser know how he was feeling about it?
Yeah, because I was on the end of the conversations about the increased cost and how some of our employees cannot afford what they're now paying. I mean, it's more than doubled.
If we had that by
Really, really
October,
high.
Mayor, we could probably work on that. At least what Susser can give us whatever we can get.
We can get a hold of him, you know, right after summer and say, hey, when are you gonna have this information for us? We'll have a
Or tell
committee
him if
meeting.
you don't have it by such and such a time, you're not gonna be
You're not
considered.
gonna be considered.
You're out of consideration.
Then you have to hire a new person to do it for you.
Right, but I'm saying,
Okay.
if there's no incentive for him to get it to us, nobody's ever.
Of course, the thing is that he might not have it either, it's just like everything else.
Well, if we let him know that we want the info as soon as he can get it to us, then we're doing our part to,
Yeah.
you know, be proactive.
We received an email from Ohio Billing, and it was a reminder that there is, this year, 2019, is the revalidation of Medicare, Medicaid, which means they may be coming back into audit. And I talked to the chief today. We have to send all the existing volunteer fire back in to get FBI, BCI checks. It's mandatory, have to do it no less than every 4 years. So we're going to look to see if there's any way we could get someone to come here and take the fingerprints and then submit them in, or how we need to do it. Or I may talk to you, chief, about a place that's open after hours. We're gonna have to do a little bit of research, because it's hard for some of the employees to get down to Buckeye during the day. Cost on that's gonna be about $1,400, and that's at the $55 rate that we're paying now. I continue to work on the year-end notes. The Hinkle report and year-end is due in Columbus the end of February. And today I received my welcome to their world, USDA. There's a yearly report I do from them, and it's in my computer now to start working on. I had the second reading of resolution number 1901, a resolution making the permanent appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Beach City, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. Will be your second reading. And you have also the second reading of resolution number 1902, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the Village of Beach City, Ohio to execute an agreement with the trustees of Sugar Creek Township, Stark County, Ohio, to provide fire protection and ambulance and rescue service to said township. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Jeff.
Can I, have we did anything on the garbage or the trash thing out the fire station? Do we have to do anything?
I don't know what
Is it
you're talking
full or
about.
anything?
What are you talking about?
The container,
At the fire station?
yeah, that's the police station,
Oh,
Well,
the
usually-
recycling containers?
yeah. Well, usually it comes off a certain time during the winter, and then bring them back. Have we-
Oh,
Oh, the yard
You're
waste.
talking the yard waste.
They're still throwing stuff in it, I seen somebody taking the Christmas tree out the other day.
I think they were putting Christmas trees and stuff in it a couple weeks ago, but
I went out and went up the steps. The steps are solid, it's the big container they got there, and tar might have fixed the steps, but they're solid. Cause I kept getting complaints that the thing was, they couldn't reach after they got to the top. It's okay. Has anybody went out and looked at it at all?
I wasn't there, well, it's been about a month or so since I was out there. Not probably
Well, it
2
looked good
months.
to me,
when
anyway.
the steps fell because they were frozen, they couldn't move.
Well, there for a while, they were a
It
little
wasn't
rickety.
frozen when I was out there.
There for a while, their steps were a little bit rickety, I think.
Yeah, he put steel on the one side of it.
Oh, okay, well then, yeah, they were reinforced.
But it looks good anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if they pulled that or not, I don't remember.
I haven't called. Rick usually tells me when to call, and he hasn't had me call for a while, so. Done.
All right, thank you. as I mentioned before, we have State Representative Bill Romer here tonight. Bill, would you like to say something?
Sure. By the way, Mayor and Council, thank you so much for the time. I think this is the third time I've been here, maybe the fourth time, third time for sure. But one of the promises I made is that were I elected, you'd continue to see me, and I always believe in keeping my commitments. During the election, I spent a huge amount of time here
Yes,
in
you
Beach
did.
City. Personally walked door to door with my fiancee Josie, basically to every appropriate home. We ate lunch a number of times down at the park, and really enjoyed being here. I think we ran into you at the Fireman's Festival.
Yes.
And ended up in the parade that
Yep.
day. So it worked out really, really nicely. But I wanted to make sure that I reached back out again. Councilman Bailey has already indicated that he's got an issue with a potential stop sign. I will refer, I won't make any promises, but I'll refer it over to the
Good
ODOT
luck.
District Director.
I'm talking about the one at 62 and Justice Avenue. There was school buses come up to the railroad track on 62 towards the bar in Justice. They stopped for the railroad track. And after they stopped for the railroad track, they never stopped at the stop sign, which is 20 feet ahead of it. They go straight through the stop sign. I'd like to get that stop sign out of there.
That's Sugar Creek Township, right? Yeah.
I think so. I think so, but given the fact, when we were talking, I actually knew the exact intersection because went all the way up and down Justice, going door to door also. So there's a real advantage to me having the knowledge of the village and the township also. I've also met with the township trustees on multiple occasions. So if anyone wants to reach out to me at any time, feel free, and we always enjoy coming here. So
We
thank
enjoy
you.
having you.
How many
Thank
days
you.
do you actually spend in Columbus during the week?
It varies. 2 weeks ago, I was there 4 days. Last week, I was only there 1. This week, I'll be there 2, but it's fairly significant.
You know, if you get stopped by a statey going down the road, you don't have to pay the fine.
Well, I know I'm getting my Rep 038 license plates. I have the temporary ones already. So yes, that is true. That's, as Councilman Bailey was indicating, the highway patrol cannot interfere with a state representative if they are going to session. So-
I did not know that.
And I haven't had a speeding ticket in, let's see, probably, I got 1 speeding ticket in 40 years anyway, so that probably won't be an issue, but I am getting my license plate, one of the little perks. So, thanks.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
You and Miss Josie. I think you're a very smart man, Bill.
I do too.
Do we want to elect the council president tonight, or do you want to wait until we have a full council?
Whatever you want to do.
We should wait because you would,
It's you guys' call. I'm fine with that. Everybody else fine with that? Okay.
Could I just interject something here about this, a letter that we received, a copy of a letter that we received about a dumpster.
A dumpster?
Yeah, this is not a city council issue,
Hmm.
this is a private,
No.
civil matter.
Chief's gonna speak on it here in a little bit, yeah. Yeah, we all got letters.
Yeah,
Each one of
I
us,
know.
and yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he'll, but yeah, you're exactly right. One other thing, which I'll wait and talk to you about that, Chief, whenever, are you gonna have an update tonight for the ODOT thing, 93 and 212? Okay. I'll talk to you about some other things when we do that. There was nobody else on the speak tonight? No? Okay. Fire department, do you have anything?
Yes, I've got a few things. Calls year to date so far, we've run 27 calls. I'm very happy to report, very proud of our guys. We have only turned over 1 call since the beginning of the year. That's absolutely amazing, especially for us in the daytime. As y'all know, we push for the power cost because of limited crew. And we have run 26 of our 27 calls, which is absolutely amazing.
That's very good.
The Marks radios, we went live on Marks January 31st at 1 p.m. The issue we're having with our Marks radios, well, we have several issues. Number one, we can't communicate with our PD. Staley's aware of that. We cannot communicate with them on their dispatch channel or on their private channel. We found that out the other day. We tried, and Staley's is so overwhelmed right now with programming issues and everybody trying to get up to where we are. We're doing the best we can. The other issue we have, we are actually running on about 5 portable radios. So God forbid right now we get a structure fire or a major event, we're gonna be scrambling, but we're gonna make do. Our 10 Stark County Sheriff radios are still at Staley's being flashed. We should have them hopefully shortly. And the regional grant has finally come in, all the stuff's at Perry. We'll have another 8 portables coming with that and another mobile, and hopefully here in the next few weeks, we will have that stuff and we'll be back up to normal operating range where we should be. So, but unfortunately, I can't tell you whether we like it, we don't like it, because we have not had a run since we went live, so, which is
It'll
actually
take some time,
a good
I'm sure, to
thing.
get the
So-
bugs out.
Right, and like I said, I mean, for the most part, it seems like it's very clear. I know Wilmot's been playing with a lot, and I mean, they found one dead spot. Dan told me today, and it was actually down by the Dover Dam. We're never gonna be down there, so, seems like a really good system, so once we get the kinks worked out.
Good.
I applied for a fire marshal grant. I'm trying to keep ahead of the game on the MARC system. The fire marshal grant I applied for, it's gonna be roughly $14,000. It is a no-match grant, and I applied for 20 MARCS pagers. As of right now, our dispatch procedures, they're simulcasting us, so it's coming across our UHF pagers like we always have, and then after that, everything goes to the MARCS system. As we all know, it's probably a matter of time. I can't say 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but we all know eventually they're gonna wanna do away with that UHF system, obviously. So I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. Them MARCS pagers, you're looking at about $700, $750 a piece for them. It's not gonna be cheap, so if we can do it with a grant, that's our best bet. But I applied for the Marshall grant this year, and that's what we did for it.
How much did you say that was, 14 grand?
Roughly 14,000. It's less than 15, which is what the grant will give us. I think it come in at like 14.8. I didn't bring the exact numbers with me, but that's for 20. That will not equip all of us. We got 26 members, but that's a pretty good start. So, and that's obviously just like any grant, up in the air whether we get it. Tomorrow, I want you guys to know Engine 131 and Engine 132 will be out of town at 10 a.m. We will be at Brewster Fire Department. We will be having our ladder test done. You guys approved that several meetings ago. They finally got us in. One of them will remain in service at all times, so if we get a call, we'll be coming back with it. I just want you to know that they will be up there. Hopefully it won't be more than a few hours, and that'll be done, and we'll have those trucks back in house. So, Brush 139 was sent to Liberty Ford. It's been up there, it'll be 4 weeks this Thursday. They've tried to figure out what's wrong with it. They finally started to tear into it. She told me today that the engine's so built up with carbon, he's been cleaning it, cleaning out the injectors and everything. He does not want to start replacing stuff on it because he said you're going to get into a lot of money. He ran it yesterday and he ran it today with no problems. So he's hoping that with some of that carbon he's got out of there, that it's going to be okay. They're going to run it in the morning when it's cold. Hopefully tomorrow they're going to give me a call. We're going to go up and get it and knock on wood and pray that is what it is and it runs fine. I don't know what the bill is going to be on that. Like I said, they've had it 3.5 weeks, so
Does
just
he
trying
want
to
you
figure
to
it
take
out.
that out and run it, if that's what it is?
What
More often?
he wants us to do is run it like we normally do and let them know immediately if we're having any problems with it. When they first got it, he said it would stall every time they drive it, and they'd get it back to the diagnostic machine, hook it up, and it'd run like a brand new truck. So he said they were having a real hard time diagnosing it, and this, he finally just dug into it just because they've had it so long, and he said this is what he's come up with. So I don't know if maybe that's because it sits so much. I don't know. I mean,
What engine's in that, Bill?
it's got the Triton V10 in it. It's a gas engine, but it's also a 2001. It's probably got, I don't know, 50,000 maybe, not even. I mean, it sits a lot, and that's with any truck. I'm sure that's probably just as bad on them as running them. So
You don't try to take it out, run it once a week,
We-
out on the road?
Not once a week. We try to run our trucks monthly, especially our big trucks. But the grass truck, it runs a lot of errand runs and stuff like that. So I mean, it runs as much as our squads do. And so we'll see. We'll get it home tomorrow, hopefully, and we got to get it back anyway because it's the only unit that don't have a MARCS radio installed in it. So because it's been up there. So that's where we're at with that. I want to remind you again, Well, here, let me jump a little bit. The BWC grant, I reached out with Stephen Hanna today. Everything's turned in with that. It has been. He told me it'd be some time before we know anything. Stephen did not get back to me. I'm assuming everything's okay with that. I'll try to reach out to him again tomorrow. We had that turned in, I would say, the beginning of January. Everything was done and turned in. So hopefully it's just taking some time with the state. And also, we still got the FEMA grant out, and as you know, with the government being shut down with everything going on in the FEMA grants, FEMA's running way behind on the grants. God only knows when they'll release any of that information this year too. So, and that was for our 16 cents a turnout gear. I want to once again remind everybody, I want to look at getting a tax levy on. We don't have to do it tonight. I know we're minus some council members. Again, my recommendation is a 2 mil 5-year levy. I know I brought this up, I didn't make it to the last meeting, I brought this up before. I think that'll get us the rest of our needed EMS equipment, our other power cot, and another Life Pack 15, and that would bring both of our squads up to date with pending the BWC grant goes through and we get the 1 power cot and the 2 load systems like we'd already approved going with the BWC. That would get everything we need up to date, and it would give us a little bit of money. We got some odds and ends hose to replace, and I mean, it'd give us a little bit extra spending money there too, so.
What kind of time frame do you have to have everything for that in to get it on the ballot?
That I don't know. That'd be a question for Steve.
Would have been Wednesday, this Wednesday, so you wouldn't have got it on for the primary, so now you're looking at it.
The November election?
August.
Yeah.
Is it August?
There's a special election, but they don't have those unless you pay for it, so it'll be the general election. and-
There's one in May, isn't there?
The May one, the deadline would be Wednesday to file. So we're already
You're
past,
right, I'm
you'd have to
sorry.
get it certified to the auditor. So we're past that, we're looking at the November, which is good, then you're not rushing, trying to get these
Right.
things. So it'll be summertime, it'll be.
I think it's 90 days.
That would make sense.
And we're in no hurry. I mean, obviously, we probably won't get these power cots until, even if the grant goes through today, it'd be, he told me probably spring, summer anyway. And I mean, this is stuff that we just need to buy here over the next few years to get us up to date. So if we could get on the November election, that would be perfectly fine, so. But like I said, that's something for you guys still to talk about. We just barely went over it and barely got into that. Let me see. I talked to Debbie the other day. I think the batteries in the siren are going bad. If you notice, when we do get a call, the siren winds up, it'll wind up and down a couple times and it'll just die out. That's what happened the last time the batteries went bad. They're in a box over here. I would like to see, we talked about BNC, and me and Dan's been talking, we've been dealing more with Staley's for everything. I'm wondering if Staley's couldn't come down and work on that for us. I don't know, but we'll have to look into it. I don't think it's a major issue right now, but when we get into severe weather season, which will be right around the corner, we gotta make sure that siren's up and running. The firemen have pagers and stuff, so if it does quit now, I mean, we're okay without it, but the main thing I worry about is that tornado siren. So, we need to keep that in the back of our minds.
So are you gonna contact Staley, or?
I can, it's, however, Debbie was gonna look into it, and I actually forgot to bring it up today when I come over to talk to her. Or I can get with you tomorrow and we can go from there, so. I do need 2 things, and I promised you with what we requested, we wouldn't ask for anything that we didn't need. Well, I have 2 problems. We had a CO investigation a few weeks ago. We got our gas-powered ventilation fan out. It is pouring gasoline out the carburetor bowl. We need to get it in and get it serviced. I talked to Weinsberg Lawn and Garden. They told me they did put a new carburetor and do a full service on it. He said for definitely less than $150, pending they ran into no trouble. So I need approval for that tonight. And the other thing I need that we overlooked is when we ordered our Marks radios, they did not come with a bank charger. So our radios right now are sitting in the radio room, and we have no way to put them in the truck. We need to order a bank charger. I went with Staley's. Staley's gave me a quote of $937.50. After talking to Dan was able to find one actually for $790. So what I'm asking for is $800 for this bank charger. This is the only way we're gonna get these radios in the truck. We have no way to charge them unless we're at the station, which I do not like, because then if we run a call and these guys run out the door without a radio, everything's at the station. If they're on the truck, which is how we run now on the truck, we're back to where we should be. So total money I'm asking for tonight's $950. That's $800 for the dock charger and $150 for an emergency PO to fix our gas ventilation fan.
Make a motion.
Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Shop?
The only other thing I got is going back to them FBI, BCI background checks. I talked to Chief Calusi today. He said that Assistant Chief Mueller is their EMS person. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow. She's staffing while we're up there. Calusi said they don't do an FBI, BCI background check to comply with Medicare. He said they only do a BCI background check. He said if you do BCI, you do not have to have fingerprints. I'll talk to Jen more about it tomorrow, because I know she probably would know more than Chris does. He runs more of the fire and Jen runs the EMS. And she knows exactly who they went through and everything. And he said that's when they did theirs the last time, is when they had a Medicare, audit and stuff. So maybe we can look at something different. I don't know. I mean, that's totally up to what we find out and put our heads together and figure out what we can do, so.
Okay.
And then that's all I got. I'd like to take part in the 21293 discussion when we bring that up. But that's all I got.
Very good, thank you, Chief. I do want to read something that was here. It was a thank you for the 2018 food pantry donations from the Believers Assembly Food Pantry in Beach City. 2018, they distributed approximately 63,000 pounds of food to low-income families in and around Beach City, provided to the families at no cost. On average, each individual would be able to take home around 13 pounds per person per visit. So that's definitely positive. Everybody's pitching. Is that right? Everybody's pitching in to help the less fortunate. Okay. Chief Guy?
Okay, first off, I'd like to, when we got the Marks radios installed, the fire department, it was those negative 100-degree days, and the fire department allowed us to use their garage, so I'd like to thank the fire department for allowing us to keep our cruiser. I think we ended up having to keep one overnight because they didn't finish, but I appreciate it. I'm sure the guys from Staley's really appreciate it too. We do have our radios, they're up and working. They said we cannot communicate with the fire department. Our panic button on it does not work on the portables. However, it works on the microphones on them, so the ones the cruisers work, so that's a programming issue. Obviously, we cannot communicate to the fire department on the channel we're supposed to, but there is a channel that maybe we find there was one we can.
Yeah, our private fire channel we'll be able to communicate on, which we monitor all the time. So, I mean, we'll be okay for a while.
So there's a little bit of programming issue there, so we'll have to figure that out. So that's for the Marks radios. We have our officer pictures up at Village over here now. They're on the trophy case. I put it on one small frame, so I'm gonna try to keep that updated for you. Got room over there. So it's a little more organized, a little neater. Doesn't have a bunch of frames that are going crooked all the time. Every time the frame comes up there, that's cool.
I got to put my glasses on to see them all.
We're going to be getting sized for our vests on February 16th. This is a reimbursement grant. The cost should be right around $10,000. I don't think that's going to be total to the village. I got to look and see exactly what it is. However, the officers who want the vests are going to have to pay for them first prior to us ordering them. That way we're not playing bill collectors, and not saying we'd have to, but I don't want to have to try to hunt them down, and I don't want Devin coming after me.
So I could think the best wasn't them.
They're going to, the village is gonna pay for part of them. They're gonna sign off on a contract stating that, I think it's $125, don't quote me on that the village is gonna pay for them that we agreed to. So I'm gonna break that up over 5 years and divide it equally between 5 years, so it comes to like $25 a year. So if after 2 years, then they're gonna owe us the $100. So that way they can't just quit tomorrow and say, oh, hey, thanks for the vest. I plan on having the officers who want the vests to take that out of their uniform allowance check. It comes in March, but that's up to them. However they want to pay for it is fine. But I've mentioned, hey, this is a easy way for you guys to get it paid for. So we get that taken care of. I have multiple resignations. I'm gonna read real quick for you. Actually, I'm gonna go with the ODOT thing first. spoke with the individual, I'm sorry, I had his name written down in my other office, regarding the stoplight. I also spoke with the fire chief, mayor, concerns with you guys. He doesn't seem to think there'll be an issue if we go to it, and we wanna change it back. Doesn't seem to have an issue at all. I know there's concerns about changing it, about if it's gonna hurt the traffic more than it's gonna help us. So we could potentially do a study. The guy from ODOT would like to have a conference call with, me, the mayor, village administrator, probably the fire chief, anyone else that wants to get on it. Just to discuss what our options are. So we're not doing anything yet. I'm waiting on him to call me back to set up the meeting to see what exactly our options are. I'm open to anything. If we wanna leave it the way it is for now, we can do it. I mean, if we wanna change it to a test, from talking to him, it seems like it's possible. But I just wanna, he wants to have a conference call with us to see what our best options are. I've been working with him since we had that one accident back in October, November. So, Chief, is there?
But personally, and this is what I talked with Chief Guy the other day over at the station, I think if we change that to a four-way stop, I think we're gonna have more accidents then than we do now. That's my own personal belief. I think the only fix to that problem, that intersection, is moving the red light. I know they will not let us do that, but I'm afraid that if we make that a four-way stop, instead of the 212 people blowing the stop sign, it's gonna be the 93 people that have been blowing it all these years. And I mean, you'll never know until you try, but I don't know. I'm gonna tell you honestly, on a fire department standpoint, in the 15, 20 years we've been running, I think you're asking for a lot of trouble to make that a four-way stop up there, I really do.
That was part of what I was concerned with, that we spoke the last meeting, basically I said exactly what you just said. You know, instead of the east and west drivers being at fault, it's gonna be the north and south.
And
That's what I fear, I mean, obviously.
Well,
I don't
and
know,
see,
but-
the thing is now, you got the people blowing the stop sign at 212 occasionally, but now you're gonna have the people going 93 north and south that are so used to not stopping there. The 212 people are gonna say, oh, it's a four-way stop now. Now these guys are, and I think you're just gonna ask for more trouble. I think personally, and I mean, you guys make the decision, what do you think's best? Personally, I think we're better off to leave it the way it is to change it to a four-way stop. But that's just my own feelings on it. And I mean, you won't know until you try, but unfortunately, it's, you know, one accident that takes a life, and, you know, we definitely know then we made a bad decision, so.
I'd looked into the stop signs and have all the things around that blink all the time, but they were so darn expensive.
They get stolen.
And
They stole the
They
ones
stole
out
all,
here.
both of these over here at 212.
So you guys have been here longer than I have. I've done the research on it. I can understand. I see both sides of it, and I'm okay with whatever you guys decide. I'm okay with. We at least have an option, and I don't feel I'm neutral on it. I personally think the stoplight will go down there, but they're not allowing us to do that. I'd like to at least get on the conference call with them and at least get a couple questions answered and ask them why we can't put the stoplight there, and see if maybe we can get some different ideas and kind of push that issue a little bit. But other than that,
According to the thing that I was sent, it was the volume is
Right.
what regulated not justifying having a stop.
Actually, the stop sign will not work, the stoplight will not work down there. I've been through it many times. You would have to stop the traffic back so far on all the sides to get in the trucks around that corner. If you start doing that, it won't work.
It's a mess of an
It
intersection,
is.
any way you look at it.
Well, it's been, ever since I remember, it's been.
I had my
two-way
accident
stop.
there. I was going north and south, and going from the bar, thought it was a four-way stop, and she got me. And I was already ready for it, and she still got me.
so.
I think if
I
we
don't
do
know
a
what else you
two-way
could
stop,
put there.
it's
There's
equal.
signs, I mean, what else do you do to fix it? But
Well, each way you got two lights, two red lights, and you have three signs. You have two stop signs and a sign that says cross traffic does not stop.
right,
So there's 5 things going each way, east and west.
that's what I said.
To
I
make
don't
a
know the
person
fix,
stop.
but,
I
and I'm not saying
don't know.
don't try a four-way stop. We could try it and see what happens, but I'm just so afraid we're gonna end up with more accidents there than we have now.
That's my fear, and if something bad happens,
I don't want
I don't wanna live with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, I know the people around town have been saying something needs to be done, and I agree, I think we all agree. I just don't know that ODOT gave us the best option. Matter of fact, I know they didn't give us the best option.
The only difference.
But the other option is the red light, and I agree with what Frank says. It would be a mess. With that house there, you can't see around it.
Well, you'd have to have the traffic stopping back, for trucks, you'd have to have them back at least 40 foot.
It'd be back where
On 93.
the alley goes behind Shaka's.
Oh, it won't work. It just will not work that way.
It's just
The
a
only
bigger
thing I
intersection.
see is that one stop sign with them blinkers.
Well, if 5 of them don't make someone stop, one more ain't gonna do it either.
I know.
I'll be honest with you.
It's just a bad intersection all around. I agree with everything. I don't know. My best, and like you said, the only thing I can think of is that stoplight, but if you don't
We
think it'll
did
work.
not have no accidents there before 212 went through.
So,
That's when it all started.
and it's mainly people from out of town. Most people in town are the ones getting hit, people from out of town.
Right, and if you change it, it's gonna be the people in town causing the wrecks, and the people.
So I honestly think, my opinion after, at first I was with it, but you guys have been here longer, I would agree with both you guys that we leave it the way it is.
Well, I still wanna
That's-
talk
I'm
to
just-
this
Yeah, I
guy.
wanna get on a conference call with this
Yeah.
guy, see if there's any other options, we at least have a contact at ODOT that we were able to find. I wanna see if there's anything else they can do for us, or any other options they might have that they can help us with, cause they do provide us something at that light. I don't know what it is, do they do the painting on do they paint the lines, or there was something they do provide us.
I think it's probably the lines on the road.
Last time I talked to him, he said them lights blew hard, they don't,
No, not the lights, the lines.
oh, the lines.
They actually paint the lines, don't they?
I think so.
We take care of the signs and the
The lights.
That might
lights.
be all they do, because they said there was something to take care of. I think that's what it is. So I say we just get on the conference call with them, but I would agree with you guys, that's not our best option for that.
And once we get on the conference call, we have a eager state representative that likes Beach City. So,
That's true.
we should, use his help,
Well,
if
state
the need
representative
be,
card.
yeah.
And we'll take him up there and let him drive through there.
I have.
Oh, he's been in Beach City enough, I'm surprised he hasn't had an accident there.
I know exactly where it is, I have signs.
I mean, when I'm going north and south, coming north, I can see both directions real good. Going south, you got the house.
Yep.
I slow down and look both directions.
I do too.
Before I cross the thing.
I had one car totaled there about 4 years ago.
You know, and the people who are complaining about this and making statements about it, they don't think beyond the minute.
Correct.
You know, they're not thinking about the other things involved. So just changing something because people in town don't like it
Right.
is not a good reason to change it.
I agree.
They don't like us anyhow.
And it is a problem, I think we all agree it's a problem, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know that any option is gonna be better than what is there now. I'm not
Can't
gonna
they
bet.
write-
Can't they write just big stop in white on the road where the line is?
I say we just put railroad crossings down.
There you go, that would stop it.
Probably not.
They probably-
Well, they brought up about putting bumps and I said, no bumps.
No, that's not. gonna
I've
be
had
on
them
the
everywhere. I hate them things.
So we'll see what ODOT has to say.
So I'll continue to harass the guy to get at least conference call. I called him a couple weeks ago after the council meeting, and he didn't call me back, so I called him again. He said, okay, we'll try to set something up. So he's been busy with the weather and everything. They've got a lot of stuff going on, I guess.
Let me know when that happens, and I can, during the day, I can come pick up work and come down.
I received a complaint letter.
Hey, so wait,
I think you all received a letter. I got a nice handwritten one and a typed
You
one.
got a long one.
So it actually came off of our website, so you guys are aware, we got an actual written complaint. It is from a William Gibbs. And so what I'm understanding is he would like for me to remove a dumpster that's on his property. I looked at our map, and it looks like part of that garage is even built on his property, where the line goes. On the line, it shows like this much of that other property is on his property. So, I cannot dispute property. I'm not going to dispute property. I'm not going to have that dumpster towed. I think it's opening us up for a civil liability. However, in regards to anyone trespassing on that property, he would like for me to charge the guy for trespassing when he's on there. He needs to give written notice, and that it appears that he has, regarding him being on that property. So, my recommendation to Mr. Gibbs would be to call a towing company and get the dumpster removed himself, because I'm not gonna put the village in a civil liability for that.
I agree 100%.
It's a civil matter anyhow.
Yeah, I
You all
can't-
agree as well?
He got the pickup truck away from it because the guy used to park his pickup truck there, and I know it's his property. But, he got hold of the neighbor and had her tell him, move the pickup truck, so they moved it in front of the garage.
So,
There's new people moving in the place, probably as the night, maybe.
so there's nothing that I'm, as long as you guys are okay with my department's not going to do anything with this. I did look up the trespassing ORC, and it's no person without privilege, not property, so it's a
Are you
civil
gonna
matter.
send him what you ain't gonna do, or how do you do that?
If he
Just
wants
leave
to-
it go.
If he wants to call me, he can call me. Other than that, I mean,
Good enough.
Well, what's the letter? Is ours are addressed to Christopher Mill, or?
yeah, I got that, and I got the attached letter details complaint for trespass on sign posted property. So it's actually off of our website, I believe,
I saw that,
the
yeah.
actual complaint form.
Who owns the dumpster? Does anybody know?
I'm guessing Christopher Mill or something, it's addressed to Christopher Mill.
Do you
He
know?
probably,
Fred?
no, he hired, I didn't see the name on the dumpster book. But I think they're all done because I know new people moving in there.
The dumpster's still there though?
The
Yeah.
dumpster's still there, yeah. Okay, I'm going to read you guys multiple resignations. These are not because of any changes, this is January. And generally with everything going on, each year I go through and the officers who aren't doing their part, I tell them, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be here and do what you're required to do, or we need a resignation. So I've got some resignations, it's gonna bring our department down to 16. I'm waiting on potentially 2 more, which brings down to 14 or 15, and I'm not replacing them. As of right now, I've got officers who are willing to pick up the shifts. This will do away with pretty much all of our auxiliary except for 3. And those are my training officers who all are, there's a firearms instructor, I've got an attorney on our department that does different trainings for us on legal issues, search and seizure stuff. He also does, he's a college professor, so it helps with some of that stuff. And then there's one other officer who is retired from Maslin. He comes out anytime we need him, helps with everything he can, and helps out. So I'm gonna go ahead and read these for you guys. Like I said, it was nothing's changed, just that time of year.
Yeah, you told us they were coming a couple of months ago.
So, here's the first one. Dear Chief Guy, please allow this letter to serve as my letter of resignation effective 1/1/1/31/19. I'd like to thank you and council for allowing me to be part of this department for the past 4.5 years. At this time, with my current obligations, I do not have the time that I feel is needed to be a successful member of this department. If the opportunity comes available in the future, I would appreciate being considered for a position. Thank you sincerely, Mike Nichols. Chief, I apologize I haven't gotten back to you sooner. I always end up forgetting to check this email. I have decided that I need to resign Beach City Police Department as I am finding it hard to fill the necessary requirements and also have other obligations in my life I need to fill. I appreciate everything you have done for me and also appreciate the chances you have given me to learn and grow as an individual. I will stop by this week to drop off my badge and keys. Thank you once again for everything. Sincerely, Brandon Tate.
Where's he from?
Cameron. Chief Guy, I appreciate the position I've held within the department. Thank you. I've enjoyed volunteering for parades and with spaghetti dinners. Regretfully, at this time, I am going to ask for an extended period of time away. She had some medical issues. I don't feel like I have the proper amount of time that is required to vote to the department. Therefore, I am temporarily resigning for an extended time to attend to family matters. I'd like this resignation to be temporary. I would very much like to come back to the department within a year when I am able to devote the time that is needed to the department and town. I do hope this can be accommodated. Thank you. Respectfully, Officer Kimberly Kren.
Set that one aside.
Dear Chief Guy, please accept this letter as notification of my role as notification of my role as part of the Beach City Police Department. My last day with the agency will be January 31st, 2019. You have been a great supervisor, and I only wish we could work together for a longer period of time. Your patience as part of my injury a few years ago will never be forgotten. Many agencies would have terminated me during that time, but you were able to utilize my skills. I am very grateful for that. I have enjoyed being a part of this agency for the past 10 years as if it was my own family. It has been an honor to have been able to serve with the village and its citizens, which I will greatly miss. If you should have any questions or should need anything in the future, please feel free to contact me. Again, thank you for the opportunity to have been part of a great agency. Sincerely, with respect, Larry Flinner. So those are my 4 resignations.
I make a motion that we accept the resignations and keep hers aside for 1 year, or give her time to settle her family matters.
Legally, I can't
You can,
let her come back.
well, then she can reapply.
Okay.
I make a motion, we accept them.
Bennett? McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to hire in part-time Chaz Dash. He's the one we brought in as auxiliary 2 weeks ago. He's an existing officer, well, he was an officer at, Waynesburg. He came out, has been in here about 4 times a week, about 8 times now, and he needed to learn the roads, he's got it down.
Is he retired? Yes.
He is.
I see him a lot.
He's been out a ton. I'd like to bring him in because of his experience at $11 an hour. Cause he's got it. He knows everything that we're doing. I would also like to bring in Justin and Kylan in at $10 an hour, and all 3 of those will be on a 1-year probation, and they will sign for that as well. So Kylan and Justin don't have experience, so I'm gonna bring them in at the $10 an hour and promote them later on once they get their training done.
How many spots do you have for part-time, for part-time left on the roster?
This will fill my roster to 12. I'm probably going to lose at least 1 officer. I've got 2 more resignations I'm waiting on. So that'll bring me down to probably 11.
Has them all been sworn in?
Yeah, they're all.
Okay.
Are they part-time or auxiliary?
They're auxiliary now. I'm bumping down to part-time.
No, I mean the ones that are resigning,
The ones that are resigning, you have.
the next couple that you have coming.
Well, they're part-time. All my auxiliary are gone now except for 3.
So we'd be replacing a part-time with part-time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So I've
Double
got,
shifts.
I have 12, I have 13 part-timers right now. I'm waiting for sure 1 resignation, and I'm waiting on him to bring me, which will put me down to my 12. With these guys being part-time, that puts me down to 15 officers. I was at 20.
I'll make a motion, we put them on part-time
Second.
at those rates.
Debbie, I'll have all this for you.
Okay, second by Schott? McKinney, or Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Our printer is beginning to die on me. Last year, I took it apart, replaced some parts in it, $120 is what I spent on replacing the parts. I'm not ordering new ink for it. It can last me another year, it could die tomorrow, it's pretty much on the verge. I would like approval, I'm not going to do it now, Debbie. But at some point, in case it does die before our next council meeting, because I'm babying it right now, I'd like up to $500 for a new printer. That's printer, fax, scanner. I'm not gonna spend near that, but I just wanna make sure I've got enough to cover. And that's all the money I'm needing, but like I said, it could last me the rest of the year. I'm just not ordering anything for it, and I'm not gonna order another part for it and spend another $100, $200 when I can replace it. So, instead of not doing it now, it'll be an eventual, but that's the only money that I'm gonna need. If you guys wanna, what do you guys decide on that one?
You're looking at the police levy, they also have an account of, in general too. He hasn't actually checked with Cindy yet to pick out which would be the best for his department.
I'm just asking in case it breaks, I don't have to, it's one thing, I'm just getting your approval on in case it does die for the next council meeting or
I'll make a
whatever.
motion that we authorize up to $500 for all-in-one.
Bennett? Yes. McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yeah.
And Chuck?
Yes.
Our new locks were installed, they're working great. I talked to Donnie, he doesn't want our old locks, and any department in the village needs deadbolts, I've got deadbolts for keys. We only had one issue the day after I installed them, and I think it was just something was loose. But none of my officers have any issues with it, they've all been able to access the department with no problems. The keys are all gone, I'm gonna pull this up and show you. But it gives me the log of every time someone opens, closes the door, every time it automatically locks. And with just a push of a button, I can delete their access, and they will no longer be able to get in the front or back door. The fire department came over, the one night came in the front and back door, I gave them access to it. I don't really think, you guys didn't, well, only then, chief didn't have access to the front door, but we fixed that, but they would get in pretty easily.
It's actually something we're gonna try to look into for our building also, but the problem we're running into is we don't have deadbolts and we have panic bars on our doors, so ours are gonna be a lot more costly, and that's something that we're gonna let the association decide whether they want or not want, but it is a very nice feature.
That was, thank you. I had given access to multiples of you guys regarding with Lexipol. I hope you guys have had a chance to read over some of those. If there's any changes you guys would suggest on those, send them all to me in like an email or type up for me, that way I can look through, just put the policy number in them. But I would like to go ahead and do a resolution accepting Lexipol and overriding any existing out-of-date policies unless it is not covered by Lexipol.
We're gonna go through all those.
I don't think we're ready to do that yet. I don't know, what do you think?
What did you just ask for again?
Just a resolution overriding,
The
but
flexible-
we can change them at any, we can also change these at any time, I'm just trying to get the ball rolling on that.
But if we do a resolution saying Lexipol overrides under the city law, we're stuck with it. So
But we
we
can-
need to go through and do our checking before we make that resolution.
That sounds
Which
good.
means
I
we
think
need-
so, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But-
Because Rod,
Right now, what would we do? I just don't wanna be in a situation where we don't do the right thing. Right now, if something comes up, we're going with whatever's on the book. If we know what's on the book
All is it saying
here,
is,
as far as or laws,
for what I would suggest is, I guess unless there's a conflict, for the most part, what I went through with Lexipol, they're all pretty well lined up. If we don't have it on the books, Lexipol covers it. My old policy book is nothing that the village has, 99% of those policies are police policies, nothing to do with the administrative side, which is 90% of what you guys have in your village handbook. So, I would, my concern, I guess it's really not a concern, because as long as you guys are okay with them following on the police side of it, we'll follow that. On the general side, there's not gonna be a whole lot of, an issue. We need to do it, but I mean, we can wait, but also just remember, Lexipol can be changed at any time.
but
Do we have
that's
to
one
s-
of the problems.
We have already accepted Lexipol, except for when it conflicts with our resolutions for the village.
Okay.
That's
So
the
it's-
only thing that, and now we're going through all the resolutions to make sure if they're outdated, then we'll do that then.
Okay.
But, Georgie and I are both getting ready to do all
a
that.
lot of
we do need, it is gonna be, but we
So-
do need to.
I'm okay with, pretty much what'll happen is if something conflicts now, I think that the council can get together, I believe, Stephen, and we can discuss it, because it still should be in effect with each city's policies.
Do we have to change anything to the judges under electrical? Anything that we do here? Do we have to send anything to the judges at all? Okay.
No ordinances, there's no ordinance changes in them, it's just all, it's state, federal, and discretionary, so. You guys keep looking through, we'll do it, I don't even know if we need to do a resolution on that, do we, Stephen, or?
I didn't know the council had already adopted one with that language, that the extent they don't conflict. But if that has been done, then they're on the books.
Well, no, we
I
did
No,
not
we
do
didn't,
that.
that's what we are
In
wanting
the
to
process.
do.
Yeah, we need a resolution to do that, but we want to go
Want to know what
over
you're,
our stuff
okay.
to make sure that it's okay for us, right? Because if we have laws on the book, we can't just say, oh, it's overridden, we need to do something about the law.
You gotta vote them out.
So my officers are still signing off on each city policy and procedure book, too.
We just need to
The new
get
ones
it
have signed
done.
off on everything, so we're kind of double covered. So I don't think anything is going to.
Where, is there a master book?
Well, as long as they go with what is in Lexipol, they're pretty well.
In one
I know.
place?
And then if there's a conflict, it will,
Can't take matters
That's where we can bring
I
in
know, but
council and
copy.
decide
I think
which
that
one.
has
which one to go with.
Right.
They're signing off on Lexipol.
They're
And
signing off on
acknowledging that these are the policies and procedures.
Right,
Okay.
and the village's handbook, too. I still have my
We need to
two village
stop
officers
it.
signed off on the village
Is
handbook
that,
as well.
is that coaching then?
Yeah, unless, as the chief said, there's a conflict between the
And
two.
then they bring it
And
up.
then they bring it in here.
And then we just have a meeting on, so right now, there's no real issue, so we can wait as long as we want. I just, if you guys have suggestions on changes, and remember, I'll change the one wording, but anytime you see a committee, financial department, stuff like that, that is you guys. That's what would be considered you guys in Lexipol. There's a few different areas that's gonna say financial committee, safety department, that all pretty much are languages to you guys. So you, but we'll work on it, no big deal.
And it kind of bothers me that you keep saying, well, we can change Lexipol anytime we want. That's, we can change the word.
If
That-
I-
that
Discretionary
bothers-
part of it.
Yeah, that,
I can
bothers
change
me.
it, but it will also show you guys where it was changed. So if I change something that you guys don't agree with, we'll have an issue.
you shouldn't change anything unless we agree with it.
Okay. I'm fine
Start
with that. So if that's something you guys want, we can do it to where, nothing, it might be little adjustments, but I will keep you guys in the loop before we do and let you guys.
Are we
agree
gonna
with it.
set up another meeting to do that? I think it's three.
We need to just, get together and get them out here and start going through them.
Yeah, so Lexipol goes in effect March 3rd. I have no plans to adjust anything, so.
We got time.
Yeah, March 3rd is when we go live with it, but I'm just trying to let you guys know that nothing's set in stone, that mainly to cover you guys, so you guys don't, when you guys read something like, oh, no, I don't agree with this, we can adjust, and I'm not gonna sneak anything in. Okay, I'm beginning to work on cleanup notices. We have 3 properties that are giving my first priority. 7th Avenue, Newcomb's Place, left a little bit of a mess when he moved, so I'm gonna try to get hold of that landlord. I'm not starting on them yet. I plan on working on them starting in March. I'm gonna have one of my new officers work on that, so that's one of them. We have an abandoned house on 3rd, which we've been dealing with, one of the roofs caved in, I think back or completely caved in. He's gonna automatically get a letter the first time the grass starts growing, and then we're gonna start citing him for that. Last year he kept it mowed down after he got his letter, so we started mowing it down. It's still
I'm
not the
talking
greatest.
third, southwest, southeast.
Yeah, and then my third one is there's a camper when you first drive into town across from Rod's house. That needs to go, that is considered junk and a complete eyesore when you drive into town. So those are my issue properties. I'm not doing anything with this, I want your thoughts on it, and I'm gonna do some research, if you guys are okay with it. I'd like to look at trading in the SUV. Lots of issues with it. In fact, we just spent about $500 on a drive shaft. Thing's got 36,000 miles on it. The tires are pursuit rated tires, and we eat those yearly. And that's $600. We've had that car in the garage more than any of our Crown Vics that have 3 times the miles on them. So while it's still newer, I'd like to start looking at options. I'm gonna go to a couple of dealerships, see what they can offer for us, but like I said, I just want your thoughts on it,
I'd ask him how much we still owe on it. And the other thing, he was telling me New Philly's got some of these. I asked him, go down there and start talking to them and see whether they've got any problems with the same car. The tires, and he has to check with the insurance company whether we can do away with them kind of tires, since we don't pursue everything anyway. So maybe they won't let us do it. But, 10,000 miles on tires ain't crap, it's bad. And I really don't wanna do away with the SUV if we can figure out what the hell's wrong with it.
I just don't want it to get put in order to continue to have to replace all these parts.
Yeah, and then it has no value.
Correct, so I'm a little concerned with the.
I see both sides of it now.
Was there a, what is it, a warranty on,
We're getting close to out of the warranties on stuff, but there was no warranty on the drive shaft. So I'm concerned with the amount of money I'm
not
spending.
even a recall?
They
So
said
there-
they've never seen
They
that
must not have had
before.
that issue with any other one.
Yeah, they've never seen it, but that's just one of the problems, that's just the most recent one we've had. The carbon issues, which we didn't have an issue, that was warranty, but we got, product issues we've been having with it, that we've had to replace on them. So I'm concerned with the amount of times we've had to fix the SUV so far.
It'll be paid off August of 2019. There's 2 payments left on it. We have a payment due in March and one in August. Payments are $2,438.44, so you're looking at about $5,000 that's still owed on it.
Do you run it in four-wheel drive at all? Very often?
It's all-wheel drive.
Oh, it's all-wheel drive.
No, we have to. So it's just, I don't wanna waste my time if you guys don't want me to do it, but I'd like to do some research, because I'm concerned with the amount of.
I'd like to see it, talk to New Philly and see if they've had any trouble with the thing.
Okay.
But State Highway Patrol use the same thing all the time.
Well, you can't really compare state highway patrol in town, but Philly, you should be able to compare. You know, because state highway patrol, obviously, you don't have as much start and stop all the time.
Yeah, New Philly's a lot of in-town driving.
Right.
A lot of what we do, so they go through the cars a lot quicker than we do, but I'm not sure. I'll do some research, I'll see what, a couple dealerships will give us on trade-in, to look at getting a different car. I just want something that I'm scared that if we get more miles on it, the value's gonna continue to drop, and then we're just gonna continue to dump money, and I don't wanna say we have a limit, but it's beginning to, Debbie, how many times we come for money for that thing? So, a little bit of an issue. It did bring the paper I gave you guys a while ago regarding our pay ordinance. I'd like to look at, do you guys wanna wait until we do the rest of those to look at that, or do you wanna address that now? I'm not asking for raises right now, I'm just asking to change that ordinance. That's one I know needs changed, because I get an astronomically large amount of sick time and vacation time that it's crazy, and I know there's other ordinances and stuff, but it's ridiculous. So,
Do you wanna wait and change them all at the same time, or what do you gonna do?
Well, I was thinking we should do it all at one time. Only because if we pick here and pick there,
when are we? Okay, we can wait on it. Like I said, I'm in no rush, but I'm just letting you guys know that I've got it ready. So we can wait and then move forward then. And, I'm sorry, I know I've got a really long list tonight, guys. I need the executive session for litigation. For pending.
Can we do that near the end of the?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me get Donnie out of the way if he has anything. And Chief, I wanna bring up one other thing. There's loose dogs every day in this town. We need to start cracking down. If we find out whose they are, let's do what we did a couple years ago and we start finding them.
Absolutely.
We find that one person, what, 3 times, 4 times?
Minimum.
Yeah.
I will.
And, 2 weeks ago, whenever we had our last council meeting, that frigid night, there was a dog loose in our neighborhood. And my wife and daughter was out looking for it. My wife ended up running into something.
Oh, the sheriff's taking over the dog warden thing.
I did see that, yeah.
Which that should help, because right now I have a hard time getting hold of the dog warden on nights and weekends, but once the sheriff takes it over, we should be good. I don't have a place to keep the dog safe.
I
So,
agree.
if we know who the owner is, let's start citing, I would agree with citing them, but as for, and this could be something for the town to know too, that we do not have what I would consider a safe place to house a dog.
Right.
If we catch it, I mean, for the most part, it's better off and less liability on us if we continue to just let them run.
Well, what I mean when I say let's do something is, yeah, I don't mean go catch them. I mean, if we see dogs that are out, you see a dog, you see somebody get this dog, we know who ends up getting the dog, we know who the owner is. Let's start the process. Because it seems like Councilwoman Schott just said, it's the same dogs almost every time.
It's weekly, I'm seeing it on Facebook. Loose dog here, it's weekly, so.
Same ones.
And
Yep.
I had a complaint from a resident that a dog showed up at their place, and they had a dog outside at the time. They were out there with the dog. The resident almost got bit by this loose dog because it was coming after the dog that the resident had out going to the bathroom, so.
And so I would absolutely start citing them. I need, a lot of times we're getting the residents take care of themselves. I would try to follow up with the residents when I see one of them take a dog to see, hey, who's the owner? I'll give one warning. After that, they're gonna get cited every time after.
We got a lot of coyotes around right now, so just watch anybody leaving the dog out.
So,
They're killing them.
Too bad you can't do something about the loose cats in this town.
Hey, now,
Why don't
It's
you
coyotes
put them on
down there.
Franny Blue?
I'd like.
Thank you, Chief Guy. Do you have anything for us tonight,
Nope,
Donnie?
nope, very good.
All right, Stephen, do you have anything for council before we go to an executive session?
Just quickly, I checked the docket on the property that's going through the land reutilization, and service is out on that, so it'll be a little while before the service comes back, but good news is everything's passed through. It's now in the foreclosure process, the quasi-judicial foreclosure, so case is up on the docket. If anybody wants the case number, I can send it to you. You can check the docket then too, but everything's going forward with that. As we mentioned, I did look into the fire department tax information. I appreciate whoever left me an example here, and I have some other ones for that back at my office. So I'll have it drafted. We have enough time since it's in the general election that we should be fine. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Donnie, that thing I gave you earlier, they need, according to the email today, they need that taken care of by the 22nd of February.
We gotta read it tomorrow. Now, see if Courtney got a copy of it, and I'll send him a copy.
Did you get a copy as well?
I'll check my email.
Okay. I just got the copy
I was
today.
here today, I was
Okay,
here.
then it's probably on your
Yeah.
email too. Okay, very good. Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Oh, I made a motion that we go into executive session.
Bennett?
Yes.
McKinney? Bailey?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did the gentleman send each one of them? What was the point?
Probably, I don't know, I'm guessing he wanted to make sure everybody got it. I don't know. It's a civil matter. It was almost pointless. I hate to say that, but there really was nothing we could do about it. But I'm guessing he just did it so that he had proof that he contacted everybody, I guess.
I think
don't know.
he just wanted to, oh my gosh, we all have got this letter, it must be important.
Maybe, I mean, that's a question really only he could answer.
I couldn't argue with him no more, I stopped. He's my friend. I know it's a civil matter, and
And one thing that you said about the trespassing, that he said that he gave a copy of the letter to the owners of the property or something. You don't have proof of that until you have a signed signature that they signed for them.
I have a form that is a trespass agreement, or not agreement, it's a trespass thing that where the person who is being trespassed signs off on saying that they understand that, so he's gonna have to, I did misspeak on that. he's going to have to, come to our department, fill that form out, sign it, certify, mail it to the other individual, he needs to sign it, bring it back to me. That way, it's just not a hearsay thing. Or have his lawyer do it.
All right. Meeting is adjourned.